Hey guys, happy Saturday. I'm excited to show you how I make my delicious smothered pork chops. So if you love pork chops, you're gonna love this video. So I'm gonna start out here with these bone-in pork chops. They're frozen. I need to thaw them, of course. These are the seasonings that I'm going to use for this recipe, minus the salt. Didn't use that. And here I have some all-purpose flour. So I also have here a green bell pepper, an onion, and some minced garlic. So now that my pork chops are successfully thawed, okay, I'm going to show you how to season them. So after you clean your meat, first you want to make sure that you dry it off really good front and back. We don't want this meat to be dripping wet. And I like to season my meat individually. Okay, so I'm not going to measure anything out. I just sprinkle the seasonings on top of each pork chop. Okay, so I have here some Lawry seasoned salt, and I'm just going to season this to perfection. Yes, it will season to perfection. Okay, so when you season yours, you don't want to put too much, and then you don't want to put too little. Okay, so you want to have enough to cover your meat, just like this. So if you're good at, eyeballing this and, seasoning your meat without measuring, then, you know what to do here. But if you need a little help, then hopefully this video will help you. Okay, and hopefully you can see about how much Lawry seasoned salt I used. Okay, so now we're going to follow up with the remaining seasoning. So I have here some garlic powder. And when you do your garlic powder, you can go a little heavier if you like. Okay, there's no salt in that, so you don't have to worry about, your meat being too salty from the garlic powder. Okay, so along with the garlic powder, we are going to do onion powder. Garlic powder, onion powder, that's a must. They are married. They belong together. They should not be separate. Okay, so when you do garlic powder, you want to do onion powder. Okay, so we're also going to do some black pepper. Now I'm going to add some cayenne pepper, but I'm not going to go too heavy because, the kiddos, some of them don't like spicy. Okay, so when you do yours, just do as much as you like here. And now I'm also going to do a small amount of smoked paprika. Okay. Now also I have here some thyme. These are thyme leaves, aka dried thyme. So don't do ground, you want to do dried thyme. Okay, so after you season it, just go ahead and press or rub your seasoning onto the meat or into the meat. So you're going to take some all-purpose flour, go ahead and sprinkle some on top of your pork chops and rub that in. So you want to make sure these are, coated with the flour. You want a nice thin layer of flour. You don't have to have a whole bunch, but you want a nice thin layer. So let's flip our meat over. Again, I'm going to show you how I'm going to season this with the Lawry seasoned salt. And so you're going to season each pork chop. And then you're going to season with your remaining seasonings. Okay, I didn't show that, but you want to season it with the remaining. And then last, you're going to add some flour to coat the pork chops. Okay. So now let's go to the stove. We are going to lightly brown our pork chops. Okay. So I'm adding in some oil. I'm going to heat my skillet on high heat. Okay. Once the oil comes up to temperature, I'm going to reduce the heat to medium. Okay, so this is a good tip, if you want to know how to test your oil, just drop in a little flour. If it begins to cook, then your oil is ready. Okay, or if that flour begins to sizzle, then it's ready. We're going to work in batches, okay? So I'm dropping in 2 pork chops, and I'm only going to cook these for 3 to 4 minutes on each side, okay? So again, my heat is on medium. Okay, and once again, 3 to 4 minutes per side. Okay, and so once these are done, go ahead and cook your remaining pork chops. So I'm going to get rid of some of this oil, but I'm going to leave enough to saute the vegetables. You're going to cook these until the onions begin to become translucent. Then you're going to add in your minced garlic, okay? After you add in that garlic, you only need to cook it for about an additional minute. Right now, your heat should be on medium high, but you know, if anything is beginning to burn, then go ahead and turn your heat down. So as you can see, I've added in my flour. Now I'm going to cook this for about 3 minutes. Then I'm going to add in half of my liquid. So I'm using water. If you want to use chicken broth to make your gravy, you can do that. Just add in half. Once your gravy becomes thick, then you want to add in the remaining liquid. Okay, so now we're just going to mix this up, and now I'm going to season my gravy. Okay, so since I'm using water, I definitely need to season this, right? So I'm going to use some chicken bouillon powder. Now, if you're using chicken broth, I recommend that you taste your gravy, and if it needs some seasoning, then go ahead and add in some chicken bouillon powder. Okay. So your gravy should begin to get thick. Once it gets thick to the consistency that you like, now you can go ahead and finish seasoning it. I've added in some parsley. I'm going to add some thyme, black pepper, and then I'm going to add a small amount of cayenne pepper. Okay, so once your gravy is thick to how you like, again, you want to season it, and you also want to reduce your heat. Okay, so you can turn your heat down to like medium low. Okay, so now let's add our pork chops in. Okay, once the gravy is done, we're going to add these in, and we are going to smother them. So basically, we're going to cover this with the lid, and we're just going to let them slowly cook on low. And you want to do this for about 20 to 30 minutes. Okay. Yeah, so we're just going to let these simmer on low. Lid on. Yeah, that's smothering. We're going to smother the pork chops. Okay. So try to be strategic about how you arrange your pork chops to make sure everything fits. Okay, so we're going to cover these. And here we are. This is about 30 minutes later. These were done. Okay, these were so good, y'all. Oh, when I tell you these pork chops were so good, I told my husband, this tastes better than bacon. He looked at me like I was crazy. But it really did. But I guess people feel like, no, nothing tastes better than bacon. Okay. So I had some rice that I also cooked with this. And I'm going to plate this up. I'm going to add 2 pork chops on here. And I hope that you guys will try this recipe. Okay. I hope that, you know, this video is very, very helpful to you. If you try this, please come back and let me know how it turned out. I just know that you guys are going to love it. These pork chops were so good. These were so good. So I thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to click the like button if you enjoyed this video, and I hope to catch you in my next one. Thanks for watching again. Bye-bye.